So the current consensus is that Mega Mewostic is the worst Mega introduced into Pokemon Champions so far. But why is that? Well, first of all, it gets the ability Trace. And Trace allows you to randomly copy one of the opponent's abilities, which isn't completely terrible if your opponent has something like Stamina or Sturdy. But when you have Mega Pokemon with abilities like Huge Power, Adaptability, and Multi-Scale, Mega Mewostic having Trace isn't really that desirable, as it heavily relies on what your opponent brings. And even with that, there's no guarantee you'll trace the ability that you want, as it's a 50-50 chance between both of your opponent's Pokemon. Apart from that, people are saying that it's a worse version of Mega Alakazam, because Alakazam does have a lot more special attack. Now, Mega Mewostic does have a bit more bulk, but the discrepancy in the defenses alone don't really justify a good reason to use Mega Mewostic over Mega Alakazam. So is there even a reason to use Mega Mewostic? The answer is, probably not, but I'm doing it anyway. There's two versions of Mewostic. There's Mewostic Male and Mewostic Female. Mewostic Male has the ability Prankster, which gives priority to status moves. And Mewostic Female has the ability Competitive, which raises his special attack by 2 stages when his stats go down. In this video, I'm going to be using Mewostic Female, and that's because of Weirdir. Weirdir has the ability Intimidate, which lowers the opponent's attack stat when Weirdir enters the field. But here's where things get interesting. Weirdir also gets the move Skill Swap, which swaps its ability with the opponent's, meaning that we can give the opponent Intimidate, which will lower Mewostic stats, thus activating Competitive and raising our special attack by 2. At this point, we're free to Mega Evolve, and with a 50-50 chance of tracing Intimidate, which will lower our opponent's attack stat even further. And because Mewostic doesn't have the best defenses, lowering our opponent's attack by 2 stages is definitely a nice bonus. For its moves, we have Fake Out, Psychic, Protect, and Alluring Voice. We're also going to be using Mouse Hold with Follow Me, because even though Intimidate does help us with physical attackers, it doesn't help us with special ones. So Follow Me redirecting attacks onto Mouse Hold is going to be helpful. The main strat here is we use Fake Out with Mewostic onto one of the opponent's Pokemon, use Skill Swap with Weirdir, and then the next turn Protect with Mewostic, swap Weirdir into Mouse Hold, use Follow Me, and from there we can attack with Mega Mewostic while all attacks get redirected onto Mouse Hold. Now this strat sounds good on paper, but it really isn't, because there's a lot of counters to this team. Some of them being Encore and King Gambit, which are all awfully common, so I don't recommend you use this team. I really don't. It's definitely more of a gimmick, but regardless, I thought of counters to both of these. First up, we have Encore. Encore's annoying because if our opponent locks us into using Fake Out, the match is basically done from the start because this team heavily relies on using Mewostic. So if we can't use it, it's pretty much game over. Now fortunately for me, people often pair Encore with Prankster, which gets shut down by Serena as it has the ability Queenly Majesty, which stops priority moves from affecting us. And as I'm making this video, these are all the Pokemon with Prankster and Encore, so whenever we see any of these Pokemon on our opponent's team, we're sort of obligated to bring Serena. Finally, we have King Gambit, and King Gambit has the ability Defiant, which raises his physical attack by 2 when his stats get lowered, which is a problem because one counter cleave, not even that, one Sucker Punch is gonna destroy us. So our Serena has Low Kick, which should do good damage and prevent it from using Sucker Punch because it has Queenly Majesty. Also, one thing to note is that Weirdir has the Wire Herb, and that's because once we do use Skill Swap and give the opponent Intimidate, Weirdir's attack's gonna go down by 1, and I bought it to be a physical attacker. But with the Wire Herb, we can restore the changes, so it's like nothing ever happened. With all that said, I again don't recommend you use this team, but here it is. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get to the matches. Okay, so our first match using the Forbidden team, and our opponent goes into Aromatisse and Toxicroak. Let's use Skill Swap onto Aromatisse, and then we can Fake Out Toxicroak before it uses Fake Out onto us. Okay, there's Fake Out, Skill Swap. Does Aromatisse use Trick Room? Probably. I feel like the odds are quite high here. There's Intimidate, and there's Competitive. Our special attack goes up by 2, and there's the White Herb. Okay, so it does use Trick Room here. That's fine because we can just sort of reverse it here because we have Trick Room as well. Mewostic has +2 special attack right now. Do I want to Mega and use Psychic onto Toxicroak? I sort of do. Actually, I sort of want to use it onto Aromatisse. Actually, no. Okay, I think we do Toxicroak. And next turn, we double into Aromatisse with Psychic and Strike Shield Bash. We trace Intimidate, so now Toxicroak is at -2 attack. Sucker Punch. We survive. There we go. Intimidate coming in clutch. They start Reflect, not Light Screen. We'll take it. Psychic. Toxicroak is gone. Okay, cool. And we use Trick Room. Okay, yeah, over here I think we just double into Aromatisse. So it's Strike Shield Bash, and then Psychic. With both of those, I think that kills. I think. Okay, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Slash your bash. Reflect is up, but we still kill. Okay, and our defense goes up. Very nice. I mean, so far we're doing well. Muddy Water, Weird it avoids it. Mewostic does take it. It does take it. I mean, Muddy Water there wasn't stab. Worth it was. I don't think it would have killed anyway. They're going to Corviknight. Where have we even gone into Mousehold? I think what I want to do is I want to use Mega Horn onto Slowking. And then Psychic as well. Just in case they try to use Trick Room again. I don't know. Oh my word. I didn't think it one-shot. I didn't think it would. That's insane damage from Mewostic there. Wow. These body press. We take it really well. And they forfeit the match. I mean, Mewostic didn't perform that bad. I still don't recommend this team. I don't recommend it. I don't. But it worked quite well. Okay, so they send out Furfrou and Vivillon. We can use Skill Swap onto Vivillon. And with Mewostic, we can use Fake Out onto Vivillon as well. To be fair, yeah. I've actually forgot what Furfrou does. What does it do? Like, why is it here? I don't know. Doesn't it get Cotton Guard? Attract. Attract is actually bad. Hopefully it doesn't stop us here. Hopefully. Okay, it doesn't. It doesn't. We get Compound Eyes. They get Intimidate. And now the strat gets rolling. Let's swap Weird It into Mousehold. And then we can use Protect with Mewostic. Yeah. And then next turn we can use Psychic onto Vivillon. Probably. There's Mousehold. And Protect. What do they do? Sleep Powder. Onto Mewostic. Okay. Yeah, Cotton Guard. That's fine. That's fine. Mewostic is a special attacker, so Cotton Guard doesn't really matter here. Let's use Follow Me. Mega. And we can use Psychic onto Vivillon. I think we one-shot. I think. Trace. We trace Fur Coat. That's good. What? That halves physical damage, right? Psychic. One-shot Vivillon. It was a crit. Did the crit matter? I don't think it did. I don't think it did. These Cotton Guard again. Okay, so they're at +6 defense. They go into Umbreon. Let's use Follow Me. And we can just use Psychic onto Furfrou. Okay. They're at +6 defense now. Which again doesn't really matter because we're a special attacker. Psychic does really good damage. They use Attract. Doesn't work because Mousehold doesn't have agenda. And Umbreon uses Focus Energy. Okay, sure. Okay, I think over here we just use Follow Me. And Psychic again onto Furfrou. Okay, there's Follow Me. Psychic again. And they go down. Okay. Does Umbreon use Foul Play? Probably. No, Throat Chop. Doesn't actually do that much. Even with the crit. They go into Vaporeon. We just Follow Me again. Just sort of spam it here. And then we just use Psychic. I think that's it. I think. Psychic. Doesn't one-shot Vaporeon, but does a lot of damage. They use Focus Energy as well. Okay, this is a very interesting strat. Double Focus Energy. Okay. And they fought for the match. Mega Mewostic's cooking. It's cooking. Okay, so they had Bennett on their team and King Gambus. So I brought in Serena for this one. But they led with Golurk and Hatterene here. Okay, let's use Skill Swap onto Golurk. And we use Fake Out onto Hatterene. Golurk could use Protect, and it probably does use Protect. No, it swaps out into Incineroar. That's good. That's good. Guess what? Competitive goes off, and now we have +2 special attack. We're going to be at +4 special attack. Skill Swap. Yep. There it is. +4 special attack. Okay, I think what we do is we swap Weird It into Serena. Stop Fake Out. And then Mega. And use a Luring Voice onto Hatterene. Does this one-shot? I don't think so. Does it one shot? +4 special attack. Surely Mewostic does it. Surely it one shots. Surely. No? No, guys? Come on, Mewostic. Come on. Trace. We trace Magic Bounce, which is nice. Fake Out. Doesn't work. We have Queenie Majesty. Alluring Voice. How much are we doing? Woo! Mewostic! Mega Mewostic, and they forfeit the match. I don't know if I'm going to get a better match than that one, so I'm going to end it there on a high. But by the way, don't use this team. This team is not good. This team is not good.